Today I'm going to be doing just a little look at the Mosin-Nagant 9130 that I own. And in case you didn't know, it's a 5-shot bolt action gun from originally designed in 1891. It's from Russia. This one was made in Tula. I can tell that by looking at certain markings right here that are stamped on the receiver, right up there. Now, I'll get some pictures so you can see that a little later, but yep, takes 5 rounds and an internal magazine right here. You can easily open up this magazine in case, say, you couldn't feed bullets right. So here's the bolt. Just place 5 bullets in there, either on a clip or you can just put them in there on your own. Just press them in. Now, a lot of times you're gonna have, it depends, it varies on Mosin to Mosin, that you'll have this thing, the bolt will not want to open like that after you pull the trigger. I'm not going to do that right now, but yeah, I can show you actually. There's nothing in there, so it's safe. Just sometimes it will just, this is what will happen, you fire the trigger, like, then it just won't want to move. It took me a while to actually fix that problem. We had to get it polished. We had to soak it in very hot water, soak it in mineral spirits before that, and it is now finally to the point where I don't have to bruise my hand trying to slap this out, and that is one problem you're going to face with these rifles. I mean, they are pretty cheap. They were, especially if you get the versions during the middle of World War II, they're not as well made as ones maybe before the war. And right now I think there's Cosmoline getting on my hands a little bit. Yeah, that's another thing. This whole rifle, most of the time when you get it, unless you go to a really nice gun shop, it's going to be completely just covered in this crap called Cosmoline. Now, it's really good for keeping the rifle in good shape over a very long period of time, which is over 80 years in my gun's case, because it was made in 1930. But it's just going to be wrapped completely in this stuff. It's going to be in the barrel, on the internals, on the receiver, everywhere. It's just going to be really pain in the butt to get out. So right after you get it, just take the rifle apart. See, sometimes it does this. It's kind of weird. I'm doing it from backwards. But yeah, it's going to be completely wrapped in this sticky stuff. It's going to be up in the bore. You're going to have to clear it out. And the stock too, it just goes into the pores of the wood and stays there. So you have to like put it in a black plastic bag in the sun, and it will sweat it out. Basically, the all that Cosmoline is gonna come out of it. And yeah, after that, you take all the wood parts, like I said. I'd suggest also cleaning all this out because it's gonna be on here, and Cosmoline in the bolt or in the action area, that's really gonna cause sticky bolt problems. Now, if you're lucky, sometimes you'll get it and there won't be any sticky bolt. It depends. I mean, these rifles are, I got this one for 200 because it's a hex receiver. Right here, you can see that hex receiver. You see all the ones made during the war, they just had round receivers because the Germans were basically about just knocking down their door and they needed to poop out a bunch of rifles. So, you know, they didn't have to make a octagonal shaped receiver, they just made it round. A lot easier to make, especially when you're trying to fight off an enemy. So yeah, that's just a main look at it. It fires the 7.62 by 54 round, pretty big round. It's been compared to the 308, and I wouldn't recommend using the military surplus rounds, although they are pretty cheap. I wouldn't use them for hunting. Some people buy this and think, oh yeah, I'll just go hunting with it with this ammo. This is full metal jacket. This will rip right through the animal, keep on going. And so you have to get the soft point rounds for it. And also, one big thing about the ammo, it's really corrosive, so you have to clean out your gun's barrel and, yeah, maybe even the action a little bit, the breech, right after you fire it, because it is corrosive to the barrel and it will cause rust. Yeah. Yeah, most of them are pretty old. Mine's made in 1930, so it's 85 years old. No, 84 years old as of right now. I don't know when it was made, but You can tell where you can kind of barely make out markings here. You can tell where the rifle is made. You barely see it. There's a star there with a arrow in it. That means it was made in Tula. It's a town in Russia. They make a lot of gun stuff, and they still make ammo today. Then there's going to be a stamp number. Most of the time, if you're lucky, the bolt will have the number that's stamped on there, and that means it matches up. Yeah. And also, well, here's the front sight. And it's going to come with a cleaning rod. I actually use the cleaning rod. Some people don't. It's up to you. Just put a swab on it. Put some stuff on the swab. And just, go up and down the barrel with it. Yep. And, I don't know, they probably don't do this as much anymore, but it comes with the sling. And let me grab one. It comes with 2 of these. So 4 clip pouches, basically. Just place that in like that, just, and yeah. So I mean, if you're a reenactor, I guess if you it's a little easier to get started Russian reenacting World War II, because I mean, this was only $200. All this with this, not the clips, but this, the sling, and the rifle itself, that was $200. And like I said, it is a hex receiver. That is why the price is a little high. Before this whole gun scare, you can get them pretty cheap, like $100, and maybe even less. It depends, but it depends on what type of Nagant you get. There's a lot of them, so you can get M44 fins made, a ton of them. Yeah, I don't really know if I can show you the bore that well. I would, but yeah, sights are in meters, just like similar to an AK sight, kind of. If you really got the old Mosin-Nagants from, like, around 1891, it's in, like, an archaic Russian-only measurement system that isn't used anymore, and that kind of sucks, I guess, but a lot easier. This is meters, 1930. If you get, like, 1891, 1910, around that, I know people actually do get them, mostly collectors, though. It will be in this old, archaic Russian measuring system that is not used anymore. I just put this on here, just hold a few bullets in the back. Yeah, it also makes it put your face right there a little more comfortable when extra padding. It's a metal buttstock. It's not really going to be too nice to your shoulder, but I'd say the recoil is about a little lower than a 12 gauge, but probably not as comfortable as a 12 gauge. Yeah. There is no safety on this. It is very old, 80 years old, over 80 years old, like I said. So yeah, no safety. What do I want to go over? You can get different stocks for it. I know that much. I like the wood. Makes it look cool. A lot of people refinish their stocks. Just look it up before you do it. Take a lot of people's things into consideration. And yeah, it's good to have something like a bore snake, just to run right through the barrel after you fire, and then do some more extensive cleaning after that, so your gun doesn't rust up and everything. See, I got some Hops 9, spray Remington oil, really helps, and cotton patches for rifles. So yeah, that's basically it for the Mosin-Nagant. It's a great piece of history, a great gun. It's fairly accurate, I would say. I mean, they are pretty old. You can hunt with them if you have the right ammo, like I said. Surplus ammo will really gum up the insides of it. Like I said, it's a nice gun. Yep, nice piece of history. You can, it's a good piece, show friends, oh hey, I got this old Russian gun. Yeah. Yeah, nowadays they'll run around $200, $250. You used to be able to get them really cheap, like I said, but yeah, sadly, due to the whole gun craze after Sandy Hook and all, these rifles and the pistols that came with it, the Nagant pistols that were used by officers during the World War II, those really went away. You could get the pistols for $100 as well. But yeah, I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed the review. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. Great gun if you want to buy one that is fairly cheap, that is fairly reliable. Like I said, sticky bolt's annoying, but it's a good starter gun if you have a budget. Although I would recommend that you get some shooting experience in with higher calibers before you start shooting with this. Like, you have to have some experience before you buy it. So, yeah. If you want more reviews, just tell me in the comments.